Praise the Lord, everybody. This is Deacon William Hawks, also known as El Presidente, here at Gospel 88.7 FM and 100.3 FM Atlantic City, where we have gospel. And yes, we're still spreading the gospel one song at a time. We want to thank God for all of our listeners who continue to pray for us and support us. Oftentimes, I'm walking down the street and someone asks, Deacon Hawks, El Presidente, I want to help. I want to get involved. I want to do my part. And they say, how can I do that? And I say, you know something? You can log onto our website and participate in our 8 for 88.7. That's right, 8 for 88.7. That's where we ask you to get involved, and you can support us by just donating $8 a month. How do you do that? You just go to our website, www.wehavegospel.com, press the donate button, and just simply support us with $8 a month. It's that simple. Once again, just go to www.wehavegospel.com, click the donate button, and follow the instruction. There you go. It's as simple as that. And once again, we thank you from all of us here at Gospel 88.7 FM and 100.3 FM, where we have gospel and where we're spreading the gospel one song at a time. God bless you.
A chain breaker, a hero to all those in need, a healer, provider. I can count on you to be there for me. Master, creator, you're the potter and I am the clay. The answer to every question, a compass when I lose my way. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Can't count the things you've done for me. So much to say, don't know where to begin. So let's just say he did it again. God pulled me through, came to my rescue. Change, never cease to amaze. And also God, incredible. That's why I give you all of my praise. The impossible, the unmovable, mountains must move out your way. The enemies are fearing, no longer afraid. I knew you'd come to save the day.
Gospel 88.7 WEHA. It's more than music. It's ministry.
The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, power to the people, talking about the power of the people of Atlantic City, a platform for people to discuss ideas of the community, creating an all-inclusive environment where people of Atlantic City can actively participate in the economic revitalization of Atlantic City's future. This forum will focus on black and white capitalism, working together to create red, white, and blue capitalism. Every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM. We have gospel. The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. Power to the people.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want you to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're rolling up. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got to do. Ain't no stopping us now. We're rolling up. I know. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got to do. We got it. I know you know someone that has a negative vibe, and if you're trying to make it, they only push you aside.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and happy, blessed New Year, Atlantic City and the whole world. We started this 2020 just a few days ago. What's the day, the 6th, Steph? Is day 6? Oh, it's 6 days into the first 2020. And we have some exciting stuff to talk about. One of our guests that was going to be here couldn't make it, but we still going to address the subject that we were going to talk with them about, and that's this economic apartheid referendum that we got to abolish in Atlantic City so we can keep the right to vote. And I listed earlier, the phone number is 609-641-8870. If anybody would like to call in while we start our discussion and share your opinion and your thoughts about what's going on in Atlantic City, we really look forward to hearing your voices. And Teddy Taché, are you online with us from Washington, D.C.?
Yes, I am. How are you? And Happy New Year.
Yes. Happy New Year. Say Happy New Year to everybody in Atlantic City, in America, Teddy Taché, please.
Well, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope we're starting 2020 with 100% in vision, and we have our goals that we're going to stick to, and we are going to achieve them one step at a time.
One step at a time. Say hello and Happy New Year, LDTV Lisa Diane Hall.
Hey, Jimmy Whitehead and Teddy, how are you doing? Happy 2020.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness, Lisa, where have you been all my life in 2020?
I have missed you, little baby girl. It's my little alter ego. When am I, we got to get ready for, we have a lot of exciting things happening, Jimmy Whitehead. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, we can't even say nothing.
Anything, but
it is
Teddy
huge.
Taché, I can't wait to get with you.
Oh, my goodness.
It's exciting. The last time I saw you, we were jamming with Neo. How about that?
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, I like hanging with Teddy Taché. She gets all the heavy hitters that want to be hanging her circle.
Yeah, and before we get deep into it, I've shared on Facebook with everybody because we're friends, and my family and we started out this New Year's with my mother departing on Saturday morning, 7:45. She went to heaven to rest with my younger brother, Andre. So, Mama, I just want you to know that every day and every way, we thinking about you, we loving you, we praying on you, and you with us in spirit. And Valerie Whitehead, you are the greatest, most phenomenal queen sister in the world. Thank you for being Mama's caretaker, along with Sabrina Cowherd. Thank you with my family, and thank you, Facebook family, for all the love that you sent to me and my family when you guys found out, man. You guys are just, this Facebook thing, this internet thing. Let me tell you something. No, just what Celeste Fernandez always says. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Yeah, that's her thing. This internet of thing. This internet. It's amazing how, at one time, we can talk to 5, 10, 50, 100 people.
Millions of people.
Millions of people, all
Worldwide.
just like this, data, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to get into it shortly here about how we want to engage this internet and this social media to mount this historical Atlantic City anti-apartheid referendum, get out the vote effort. We want to start a campaign where we're saying exercise your mind, body, and vote. Okay? So we're going to get into a little bit of that. But I just want to thank everybody for the love. Mother Whitehead up in heaven thanks you very much for the love. And God bless you all. You know what it's like to have your mother or not.
Yes.
So
we're sorry, and
yes,
our deepest condolences
Thank
from
you.
the WEHA family. Your mother she definitely produced great fruits.
Yeah.
By giving us you, and
I don't know if she'll say that though about me.
Well, yes,
But-
you all the times that I've known you, you've always honored your mother.
Yes,
You've always
you know,
talked about
I'm a
your
mama's
mother.
boy. I'm a mama's boy.
You did a show.
Yeah.
I'll always love my mama.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
play the
that's- I'm a
music,
mama's boy.
and
Yeah.
I know that she heard that, and
Yeah.
I just want to say that to be absent from the body, is to be present with God.
Amen.
And
Amen.
she is
Thank you.
refreshed, restored, and renewed.
Thank you.
She's your angel. She's not suffering anymore. And
Yeah.
shouting out to your sister, who was the caregiver.
Yeah.
Now you need to look out for your sister, because
Yeah.
so oftentimes you get so caught up in caregiving for that person, and
Yeah.
when that person is no longer around, you kind of don't know what to do with yourself.
So
So
you're a caregiver for your mother,
yes,
right?
I'm a
Yeah.
caregiver for
Yeah.
my mother as well, and so I understand what your sister went through. So
Yeah.
remember to still be there for your sister, because
absolutely.
she's
That's
given
my
so much
queen.
of her life,
Yes.
dedicated to mom.
Yes.
And now that mom's gone on, now what does she do?
Yeah,
You
Valerie
know?
Whitehead is a queen of at many levels,
Amen.
and she's a warrior. She's a Wakanda warrior.
We
like-
salute you, Valerie Whitehead.
Yes,
We
all them
salute
bottom
you.
systems.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Atlantic City, for the love, and thank God for all of you in my life. So let me tell you something, as Celeste would say. There's something we can't tell you yet that's coming up. It's a very big surprise for you, Atlantic City, and I think it's going to be an engaging opportunity for us to mobilize at the grassroots level, focus on economic development, focus on entrepreneurial opportunities, focus on black capitalism and white capitalism working together to make red, white, and blue capitalism. Focus on working with our Bangladesh brothers and sisters and our Latino brothers and sisters and all of the melting pot of Atlantic City. We getting ready to set it on fire, okay? Or is that how to say, get it lit? Is that what they say?
Get it lit.
Get it lit, okay.
Set this place on fire.
Yeah, y'all can tell I'm an old man. Matter of fact, on my way up, I went to McDonald's today because I wanted to get a cup of coffee, right? So I asked the lady at the counter, I said, look, so what's the price for a senior citizen's cup of coffee? She said 63 cents. I said, well, how much it costs for people that's not senior citizens? She said $1.35. I said,
Oh,
well,
wow.
I'm a senior citizen. Give me the 63 cents. Give me the cup. Give me the cup. So
Yeah, get your discounts. You
yes,
earned
was a
that
good
right.
blessing. Yeah, that was a good blessing.
That was a good
63
blessing. Yeah.
cent a cup of
You know,
coffee.
little things in life
You're
make you
embracing
happy.
your age.
Yes, I embrace my age. I know I'm old. I'm old. I'm old Teddy Tasha Payton.
Yeah, she just a little baby of the
She's a
bunch.
baby.
Yeah,
Little
she's a
baby of the
baby.
bunch, but we love you.
But she's really organizing something phenomenal for
Yes, she
Atlantic City.
is.
She's organizing something that we'll be able to reveal towards the end of the month.
I'm so excited.
And she'll have a show on the radio. We're going to have her on the radio to talk about something she's organizing to the benefit of Atlantic City. But this is what we're going to talk about right now. The last couple of Mondays were going fabulous. We were having meetings at the city council chambers. With the mayor was there, and the city council member was there, and all the citizens were there who are activist citizens in Atlantic City. And we were talking about addressing head-on and abolishing this economic apartheid petition, which these guys, these slave mentality, autocratic old men are trying to do and use to take away the vote from the Americans of Atlantic City. So what we would like to do is put together a date where all of the activists that want to be a part of this, and it's going to take some real mobilization, we're going to have to get out the vote, as they say, possibly at the end of January or the 1st of February, to abolish this referendum to create a commission type of government in Atlantic City that's more of a dictatorship than of a government of the people. So we need to get all the Muslims to vote. It's 6,000 Muslims. We need all of the Christians to vote, the Catholics. We need the faith-based community to be mobilized. We need the silent majority of Local 54 to be a part of what we're pulling together. And we're not going to put our plan out there, what we're going to do, because we know that the enemy is always vigilantly watching and the devil is busy every day.
Right.
But I want to be able to use this social medium, medium to start the communication with you guys. And I'd like to ask our Facebook friends to let other folks know. We're going to be posting some stuff about some meetings. We're going to post some stuff about some, might have some money to pay some people to do some of the canvassing. But we're going to have to really mobilize, and we're going to have to keep the power of the people here in Atlantic City. And let me see, have you been following any of this, Lisa Diane? Do you have some thoughts on this situation?
Well, I'll be quite honest. I've been following you, Jimmy Whitehead. You have been doing a phenomenal job, bringing this to the light. I believe that it first was brought out on the Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour with you and Derek Brock. You were talking about this, how they were going around on the sneak type tip, getting people to sign these petitions. It's just crazy to me. Yeah. I mean, it's like, our ancestors fought for us to have the right to vote. Yeah. How is it possible that this group, a pack of people, can come into the city of Atlantic City and dictate to the residents what can and cannot be done? And we know what's going to happen with that pack comes in. It's not representative of the residents of the city of Atlantic City. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So every time I see you on Facebook, out in the community, and you're very diverse. I got to give it to you is that you're very diverse. I see you in the Bangladesh community. I see you in the Muslim community. I see you in the African American communities. I see you in the Caucasian communities. And this is what it takes to bring the city together, because we can do more together than we can do divided. And that's what I admire about you, James Whitehead, is that you see that vision. You've always seen that vision. Even when I first met you back in 2016, you had a vision. And I just get excited when I watch the way that you interact with people and the way people interact with you. You definitely have a gift for that, and I think you should keep educating the people. You need to keep using your platform. You could talk about anything on this radio broadcast, but you choose to empower and enlighten the people of Atlantic City and the people that you care about so that they can stay woke. Yeah. A lot of people just are clueless that this is even going on. So we just thank you for bringing this community awareness, and for all of the faith-based community leaders who are hearing the sounds of our voices. We are encouraging you to spread this message to your congregations. Let them know what's going on. What do people need to do? Like, what should community leaders tell their church congregations? What advice would you give them to, give to their members on what they should do about this process that's going on in Atlantic City?
I think, first of all, they should tell everybody they're going to have to get out to vote against this referendum. That's number one priority. Secondly, I think that we need to engage a community town hall meeting that is inclusive of all, faith-based, diversity, LB, GT community, etc. We need everybody to come out and have a town hall big idea meeting. I think that's what John Gandy referred to, the big idea meeting. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do, first I thought we would do this radio show to let people know we get ready to get organized like that, okay? Because
things are happening.
I was hoping that the local government would take the bull by the horn and stay on top of this, but it baffles me a lot that I don't see outrage. I mean, I'm talking about
it should be outrage
about this.
People are telling you you can't vote.
You can't vote.
You can't vote. You can't decide who's going to be your mayor, your city council. You can't decide who's going to be the voice to represent you. That's crazy.
And you don't see outrage. You see outrage when we get together, and all those wonderful people that were in the chamber that evening, 2 Mondays straight. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to call no names out, but first I will, of course, call out the queen of Atlantic City, LaToya Dunston.
Oh, he
you know,
loves
you know I
LaToya.
love LaToya Dunston,
He
man.
loves LaToya.
That's the queen of the
LaToya,
children.
this is Councilwoman LaToya. This is your
Councilwoman
biggest
of
fan.
Second Ward. Second Ward. She's
yes.
the angel.
We're very proud of her.
Yeah. But Teddy, do you have some thoughts on this? 'Cause I know you grew up in it was Mississippi, right?
Jimmy. I grew up in Maryland, Jimmy.
But you were born in Mississippi. You were born in Mississippi.
I was born, yes.
And your parents and your parents and your
very-
parents and
Yes.
family went through the Ku Klux Klan era. So tell us your thoughts. Tell us your thoughts. She's laughing at me.
I laugh because we always have jokes. I won't say them because somebody might be offended.
I know. Don't
However,
worry.
yes, I grew up knowing what it was like and hearing stories firsthand. My grandmother was an organizer for Freedom Riders. My mom is originally from Jackson, Mississippi, and my dad is from Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Right.
My dad's side mostly from Louisiana, etc. But in that, I learned a lot, and in knowing the struggles and knowing that it was organized. A lot of people, especially coming up next month for Black History Month, all of our kids, they probably only know about Martin Luther King,
Right.
now Barack Obama. That's about the extent
Right.
of
Sad, but
their
true.
Black history,
Really
which
sad.
is very sad. And because we don't know history, then history can repeat itself.
Yes.
With this referendum, this is an example of history repeating itself. There is a saying that if you put anything in black and white, it's going to be the best kept secret. Why? Because we don't want to read it.
Wow.
And if you don't read and you don't pay attention to the things that are going on, not necessarily just the news, but you also have to dig a little deeper because you have to be able to go through and decipher what information you're going to accept as your truth. Just because
Right.
they put it on TV doesn't mean it's true.
Doesn't
Right.
mean it's the truth.
Just because they put it on paper doesn't mean it's true. But you have to go and look at the facts and kind of figure out what is going on in order to determine that. And in understanding what's going on, where they're literally not even sneakily, they're doing it in your face.
In
They're
your
taking
face.
away your right. They're
Right.
taking away your right. And I know that I've lost family members. I know that I've had family members hosed down. My mom's house was firebombed by the KKK because my grandfather could pass as a white man. My mom went to school with Medgar Evers' children. So my extent and my understanding is much different, and it means a lot because
Wow.
I've seen it. Because
Yes.
I've seen the true pictures, and I've seen the remnants of, well, this is what it used to be, or hearing the stories where, there were tanks, not a truck, but a tank that goes to war. Tanks that would drive up and down the street to make sure the coloreds, the term of the time, were not outside or playing or different things. So, thought process is different. And because we don't honor voting, or we always say, oh, it really doesn't matter, then guess what? You're going to learn today.
Let me ask you this. I say that thing you just said about how we don't read. What did they say? If you put it in black and white, you don't have to worry about it. What did they say?
Well, basically, the best kept secret is in black and white. Meaning, if I write it, if I put it in a book, they won't read it.
Wow.
Wow. Profound.
Because the average person reads how many books a year?
How many
Because
books?
remember, at one point, it was illegal for us to read.
Yes.
And then it was a privilege to know how to read.
Yes.
Now we have kids in schools who don't want to know how to read, can't read, have no desire to read, don't care.
And we'll bully the other
you
kids
used to
if they do read.
Exactly. And you used to lose your life if they found out that you could read.
It's in this country, in this amazing country we call America, and we're going to take a break and we'll come back to this. This amazing country we call America, there are more good people than there are bad people. There are more black and white and Latinos and Bangladesh and Asian people that get along together than those who spur hate and separation and division. There is more unity in America than there is division. But every time you see a few little people, like the Ku Klux Klan or some other kind of crazy group do something, the media kind of makes it look a lot bigger than it is. and it's the distraction. And I love what Joanne Leon always talks about, is that we got to talk about loving each other, okay? And right now in Atlantic City, we can unify with love, and we can defeat the darkness of this apartheid economic petition with light. And when we come back from this station break, we're going to talk about how much we are Americans, and it's not Atlantic City ain't an island sitting off the coast
That's right.
of some other country. So right back, we're going to take a little break for the cause, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about America in Atlantic City.
Here we go.
Amen.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the Ain't no stopping us now. We got the groove. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. I know. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got the groove. We got it. I know you know someone that has a negative vibe. And if you're trying to make it, they only push you aside. They really don't have nowhere to go. Ask them where they're going, they don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're gonna put our show together, gonna polish up our act. Wow. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you.
The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, power to the people, talking about the power of the people of Atlantic City, a platform for people to discuss ideas of the community, creating an all-inclusive environment where people of Atlantic City can actively participate in the economic revitalization of Atlantic City's future. This forum will focus on black and white capitalism, working together to create red, white, and blue capitalism. Every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM. WeHaveGospel.com. The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. Power to the people.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Atlantic City and America. We're back here on Gospel 88.7 FM, spreading the gospel one song at a time and talking about America capitalism, black and white capitalism, working together in Atlantic City with Bangladesh capitalism, with Asian capitalism, with Latino capitalism, working together to create a new, brighter future for Atlantic City and have nothing to do with casinos, have nothing to do with CRETA. We talking about the empowerment of economic development based on turning Atlantic City into America's first cyber triangle, okay? So let's talk about that. America. I have to share this with you. Before I came here this evening, I bought a couple of coffee cups because I have big hands, right? And I needed a bigger coffee cups than the one I have at the house.
Okay.
Because I drink them too quick.
Okay.
So I went to the Ross.
Ross, my
Ross.
spot. I love
That's
Ross.
my spot.
Yeah,
And
you
also
like Ross too? What you know
Tajay.
about Ross?
I'm a Ross Tajay kind of guy.
That's why I like you.
Yeah. So I found these 2 coffee cups, and I'm going to share with you what they say on the cups. It says, blessings, a noun, a favor or gift bestowed by God that brings happiness, prosperity, and peace. A prayer asking for God's wisdom, compassion, and protection. A collection of all things that we love and give us joy. Prayers answered through the grace of God. That was on one of the cups, right?
Wow. Powerful.
And then I didn't know when that cup might be dirty, so I had to get another cup. Get 2 cups.
Gotta get 2
So the
coffee
other
cups.
cup says, man of strength, a noun. A man whose goodness, honesty, and strength of character lead him to defend what he believes in with certainty. One who stands up for others wholeheartedly. Okay? So with that said,
I hope you bought that cup because that's
I bought
definitely
both of
you.
them.
Okay.
We got a couple of, we have several new council members. Councilman Zia, Councilman Chowhurdy, I believe it is, Chowhurdy, and Councilwoman Queen Latoya Dunstan. Now, with these 3 new fabulous elected officials, I saw it as God planting a seed in 2020 to make Atlantic City better, right? Are you with me, Teddy Tashe?
Of course I am.
Thank you. She's in Washington. I got to check on her because sometimes she goes and hangs down on Pennsylvania Avenue, I think. Anyway, not the White House. I'm talking about the other Pennsylvania Avenue. You know, Congress and this. Exactly. Yes. Let's don't get out Pennsylvania Avenue.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Right, don't get it
let's
mixed up.
clarify that.
Because Pennsylvania Avenue going a little crazy right now.
Okay.
So here we have America. A lot of times you meet somebody in Atlantic City, and the first thing they say, well, they're an outsider. They're not from here. But guess what? We are all from America.
Right.
Atlantic City is part of the American continent. It's part of the American economy, which is a $1 trillion economy, multi-trillion-dollar economy, right? And when we start thinking about Atlantic City as being part of America, then we'll start thinking about how we can be engaged in the American economic engine, right? So let's take cybersecurity, for example, which everybody knows I've
That's
been
your
talking
thing
about for years,
forever.
right? And I love the fact
You
that...
introduced cybersecurity to Atlantic City, I believe.
And you know what I loved? After we started talking about it several years ago,
Yeah.
you had little kids
Yep.
and teenagers coming over to us talking about, you know, Mr. Whitehead, I want to be...
They want jobs in cybersecurity because you told them what it was.
Yes, we got a young man that we're working with who's very focused in doing a gaming a business.
Okay.
We got some young people. Celeste Fernandez, her son is a cybersecurity guy out of the Federal Aviation Park. So it's like it was remarkable to me that you see the situation we're in right now with Iran and Iraq and
Right.
Russia and a lot of the things going on in the world. Well, we need to be more concerned about cyber tourism than a nuclear bomb.
Absolutely.
Okay, or some act of the North Koreans sending some bomb over here to blow up. I've always said when the terrorists figure out how to attack our electric grid, America would not have electricity for 15 years.
And see, this is what they're talking about right now as we speak, that, you know, people are, you know, my sister, she just sent a family text to make sure we get water, make sure you have cash, you know, make sure you have generators because the electric might be out. You might not be able to use the ATM. You might not be able to get gas in your car. Like they're going, not like you're saying, it's not going to be an atomic bomb. They're going after cybersecurity. They're going after our data, our information, and it's all going to be done online through the internet.
And they're going after our votes.
And our votes.
Okay? Now, here's where Atlantic City steps in. Atlantic City steps in 2020 and say, you know what? We want to become the America's first cyber triangle because we're going to partner with the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, all of the Department of Defense, McDonnell Douglas, General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin. We're going to partner with all these organizations and give them whatever it takes to get them to mobilize investing in Atlantic City and creating 5,000 jobs in Atlantic City and investing about $3 billion of private sector investment in Atlantic City. And that's how we become a part of the American engine. Casinos is wonderful for tourism.
Absolutely.
It's been a good to America because Atlantic City and Vegas ain't the only one with casinos anymore.
Right.
Everybody in America got a casino. So the value of the casino's worth has gone way down. And you can't go and float a petition and say you want to take away the government from the people because your casino ain't making no money. No, your casino ain't making no money because you ain't the only kid on the block anymore.
Right.
Okay? You're trying to point the finger at the Atlantic City government and say, that's why you're not making money. No, you're not making money because over the last 20 years, you didn't think about expanding Atlantic City's tourism and economy.
You have to change with the times.
You got to change with the time.
Yeah.
Teddy Tache, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, two-pronged, right? So, yes, you have to not necessarily change with the time, but you do have to continue to be innovative, right? And in the innovation, you can't rely on any one industry. So, for instance, in the district or in my area, the DMV as we call it, if you took away the federal government, people would be hurting.
Yeah.
People will be hurting because most of the jobs in our area are federal, right? So you have all these contracts and all these things. So the key really to anything is diversification and going back to having people specialize in things to where nobody's doing everything. It's not good for, I shouldn't say it's not good because clearly people can do a lot of things, but when you have people who specialize in things and one person specializes in, let's talk about real estate because, you know, I love that.
Yes.
So if one person specializes in drywall, the other person specializes in windows, another person specializes in doors. Well, right now we already have 3 different companies that we have to initiate. Whereas if you have one person doing everything, then you don't have as much to go around. So the key here is to look at diversification. Even in the cybersecurity land, it's so much more than just that. It's, okay, the cybersecurity. So you have the coding aspect. Then you have the people who have to fix it. Then you have the people who have to actually do the actual, let's talk about drones or something like that, to actually fly. So there are so many different things, and you have to look at it from a broader perspective, and we have to get out of the one-track mind where, it can only be done one way. And when you do that, it works for a little while, but that system will break down and breaks down all the time. So we have to broaden our horizon and look at it from a bigger picture and then come back down and say, okay, well, let's divide it up this way.
And it takes time. I mean, nothing is going to happen overnight. But if you at least, you know, you just made a point, Teddy Tache. Okay, Mark Anthony Rossman. Levi Construction, one of the most incredible companies in Atlantic City, Atlantic County, New Jersey, as far as I'm concerned. Family-owned business, right? Now, he does one thing. He does several things very good. Now, if you take him and you partner him up with a Dewberry, and then you partner him up maybe with a F&L Construction, who has all of the 8A certifications, etc., and then we look at, let's say over the next couple of years, there's going to be $300 to $500 million worth of new development in Atlantic City. I'm talking about commercial SCIF properties. SCIF means Secured Compartmental Information Facilities for all our listeners. You know, it's like when you see the Tom Cruise movies. What was he playing? 007? What was he playing? Mission Impossible. And they go into a room where you can talk secured and nobody can hear and no buzz. That's called a SCIF.
Okay.
Secure Compartmental Information Facility, right? So if you go rent some commercial space because you want to open up a law firm, okay, that space may cost you $30 a square foot. But if you go and you're doing top secret stuff for the government and you need a SCIF, well, that space may cost you $3,000 a square foot. Okay. So it's in terms of creating a, like Teddy say, a diversified economy. Because if you got cybersecurity industry looking at investing in waterfront property, as Steve Wynn says, I don't know why these people in Atlantic City can't get it. They got the beach at their doorstep, the ocean at their doorstep. So now let's say that you have this industry coming in, defense industry. And, well, those people need specialized office space. So now Mark Anthony Rossman's company is doing some extra construction that wasn't there before. And we had the infamous, wonderful Derek Brock just walk in. The black man with the black cat, you all blacked out, ain't you?
Well, actually,
you just finished working. Thank you for joining us, brother. Thank you.
So we dress it up, make it look like that.
Well, your timing was apropos because we were in here talking about the economic apartheid referendum, how we got to abolish it, and then the next steps after we abolish it, electing the kind of officials who have integrity-driven leadership. And then once you got integrity-driven leadership in there, then you're able to attract what we call black and white capitalism working together to create red, white, and blue capitalism. So it's like a three-prong process here. We got to mobilize people at the grassroots so we can turn out thousands of people to vote against this referendum, number one. Number two, we got to figure out who has a good plan going forward in the future for Atlantic City that's inclusive of diversity, participation. Like yourself, you're a businessman. You should be at the table making a few $1,000,000 a year. And then you got to figure out the investors to come in and change the paradigm of Atlantic City's economy from just being rundown casinos and angry old men that try to create some type of slave mentality initiative to take the vote away from the people. We got to come up with some other ways of creating business growth here and make sure that the people of Atlantic City are owners of those new businesses.
And not to mention the cybersecurity jobs. You have educated so many people. Like, I didn't even really know what cybersecurity was till I started hanging out with you. Really. I mean, you're very skilled at this because of all of your Washington, D.C. Experience and your government expertise with your heart organization. You are very well versed in cybersecurity. And I think part of what you need to do using this platform is educate people about cybersecurity. Exactly what is cybersecurity? What types of jobs can you get in it? And these partnerships that you're talking about, with these big, huge companies, certainly these are job opportunities for these young children that are coming up to you in the streets that are saying, "Hey, Jimmy Whitehead, I want to be in cybersecurity. I want to do the IT business. I want to learn more about it." This is the wave of the future, and you've already had a grasp on this like 5 years ago.
Let me do this. Since
5 years ago.
Since Derek Brock joined us, the original Pitney Village for Life brother, and he's been at all of the meetings about abolishing the economic apartheid petition. Let's start there. Derek, what is your thoughts on this whole petition thing going on right now and mobilizing the grassroots to abolish it?
Well, first of all, I just want to send my sincere condolences out to you and your family.
Thank you, brother.
On the loss of your mother.
Thank you.
And Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you.
All those good things to you too, Lisa, as well.
Thank you, Derek Brock.
Thank you, Brock.
And it's so much to say about that. First of all, I'm glad that we were able to mobilize people to get them to be aware of it.
Yes.
My biggest concern was how they were able to get the people to sign the petition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was my biggest concern. That still is my concern because I believe people have been misled to believe that it was going to be something different from what they signed up for.
Fraudulent? You mean fraudulent?
Well, I don't want to use that term, but it
misinformation.
Yes, I would say this misinformation.
Yes, sir.
Right? Yeah, more misinformation, and it's because it's still up to the people to do their own research.
Right.
So we can't totally blame it on them, but people have to be accountable for themselves as well.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's a great thing. I'm looking forward to getting the ball rolling. I'm glad that the city, is doing something about it, and it's unfortunate, but it's what they call a wake-up call. Sometimes you need a wake-up call, because sometimes you become complacent and you tend to take things for granted when you have things for so long.
Yeah.
And you don't realize what you have until somebody either threatens to take it from you or you lose it.
Wow.
And then you really begin to realize how important it is to you. So I believe we may have needed this. You know?
Latoya Dunson said it's a new day.
Well, what exactly is the city going to do?
Well, from my understanding, it's going to be basically the same thing. You know, go door to door, make people aware, maybe separate it down into communities or blocks or what have you, and each person be responsible for going to their neighbors' doors and knocking on the door, making them aware of what's really going on, and at least counter it so they'll have more information of what's really going on. And then maybe be more informative to the people because people need to know the pros and the cons. You know what I mean? And also from the city's perspective, not just from some people that wants to take over perspective. Because one of the things that they left out that I found out at that meeting was some very important things is if they were to get in that position, things can't be changed so easily, and it would put them in a position where they would pretty much dominate the whole process of
dictatorship.
Right, and that part is really scary when you think about it because it's one of those things where once it starts, it's going to be difficult to stop it.
And you know that their interests are not going to be in
our interest.
in our favor 9 times out of 10.
Right.
Because why would they even move to make even a movement like this if it were, something that's going to be beneficial for people of brown skin?
But you think about it. I'm just astonished still that we didn't learn about it until
That's
a couple
amazing.
months ago, right?
Like what took this?
God informed us.
I'm not even going to go there.
But
you see, they heard it on the Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. And
WEHA.
All of a sudden, there's this big movement.
God is
you
good.
see,
God is good. God is good. God is
you're
good.
using this platform in a positive manner.
WEHA, Gospel 88.7.
Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour.
But if you go to their community, the same old men that are trying to take our vote away from us. I was thinking about this just before I came up here from D.C. today. And I have a place in a black community called Southeast, where I grew up at, right? It's like Pitney, you know. And so I was over to Safeway early this morning, and so I see all these trucks in there from an engineering firm. Now, this is the Southeast is the 99% black community, basically, right? Now, all these engineering trucks got all white guys in it. And I don't have a problem with white guys, okay? I was in the Navy with all, we all multicultural, we all American. But here's my thing. I was looking at them, I said, now what if all those trucks were sitting in a white community and all the guys in the trucks were black? Would they be uncomfortable, right? And I'm just asking the question.
Right.
Because I wasn't uncomfortable with the white guys sitting in my community, but I wonder, would they be uncomfortable? So when I thought about those trucks, the first thing I thought about was this casino guy who's funding this apartheid economic thing. I thought about that union guy who's engaged. I thought about all the guys.
Bob McDevitt.
Yeah, but I don't say their name because I'm not trying to tell the people who they are.
Right.
I'm just letting them people know they're the wrong ones, okay? But that's fine. You can say his name. But I was thinking about it. All the people who are supporting this thing were the old men, and I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way, are all white men, right? Now, and that's fine because this is America. Okay, I don't have anything with white people getting together and doing things just like black people do. But I was asking myself, what if we went into their communities and started a petition to take away the vote from their mayor and from their city council?
It would never happen.
What would they do?
Please.
Okay?
It wouldn't even be
we would never
an
even
option.
We wouldn't get in there. Okay?
Nope.
Just think about it. Now, these guys who don't live and eat they don't eat at Kelsey's. Okay? They don't eat collard greens. Okay? They don't come down and play with our kids in back Maryland and in Stanley Homes. But they're going to come and try to take the vote away from the mothers and fathers of these children in these communities that they don't even eat in.
Yep.
Okay? I don't think they love Martin Luther King Jr. the way Derek Brock loves Martin Luther King Jr. I don't think so. I don't think they got a picture hanging on their wall with Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Harriet Tubman all in one picture. I don't think so. But yet you gonna try to come into our community and take the vote from our people? No, that's not cool. You understand?
Right.
Well, I think it's important too that the city maybe put together some type of town hall meetings too as well.
We were talking about that just for you. Yeah.
Yeah, put together some type.
Will you help us organize that, brother? Will you? I'm sure you will.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
100% with this whole process.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my schedule is always.
Maybe we should do a couple of
place.
town hall meetings. We should do one with Pitney. I mean, Pitney in here, but Stanley. We should do one with Back Maryland. We should do one at the Jewish facility on Atlantic Avenue.
Downtown, yeah.
Downtown. And I want to be able to tell all the Jewish people over there who I love so much about our partnership with the oldest synagogue in America is in St. Thomas.
Oh, wow.
The oldest synagogue in America.
That's right.
And they are a strategic partner, right?
Wow.
And here's the thing. During civil rights, with Martin Luther King Jr. and others, you know, the Jewish community and a lot of white folks was always there walking in the street with us,
right,
fighting the good fight with us. I mean, like Tom Forkin. I love Tom Forkin. Okay? Tom Forkin is a veteran and committed to the people of Atlantic City being able to represent themselves. Okay? Derek Brock. You know a lot of other people that ain't black, don't you?
Absolutely.
Steph, don't you know other people that ain't black? Don't you, Lisa Diane? And guess what? And we love all of them.
We
if you're an American, American, we love you.
Diversity is key.
Okay.
Yes.
If you're a Bangladesh brother, we want to pray with you.
Absolutely.
At the mosque. Okay. If you are a Asian brother, well, you know what? And I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way, but I love Chinese food. Everybody knows if you want to have a meeting with Jimmy Whitehead, let's go get some Chinese food, and I'm there.
We had the meeting to do this show.
You know how I do.
Yes,
okay?
He took me to the Chinese restaurant.
And I use chopsticks for
And we
everything
use
I
chopsticks.
eat. Okay, I like to indulge the
and we
culture.
closed the deal, and here we are today.
Yes, and you know what?
The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour.
All those folks love us.
Yes.
Like
they really did love you in there.
Like
they rolled out the red
Joanne
carpet.
Leon always says, love, love. She has that organization called Yo-Yo that we're working with.
Okay.
So back to the economic apartheid referendum. Teddy Taché, do you have some light to share? Because you see Derek Brock is here. He's the black man. He's a dark black man with a black hat and a black shirt and a black jacket.
Yes.
He done gone blacker than black on WEHA.
It's called the blackout.
The blackout. Go ahead, Teddy Taché.
I think we're on the right page, right? But
Yes, ma'am.
I think something that is even more awesome than all of it is making sure that we reach down to the high schools. And for every student that is 17 turning 18 that will be eligible to vote or that can vote, we register them to vote. And we also influence in the different colleges that are in the area, the different trade schools that are in the area, because a lot of times the younger crowd will do things if they truly know what's going on or if they feel attached to it. So you have to make people feel the sense of community and have a connection in order to get a response out of people.
You have to get them engaged.
Like when I think, who was the rapper, Nipsey got murdered,
Right.
there was an attachment because they felt like they knew him even though they didn't know him.
Right. Wow.
People all across, they didn't know who he was, but they felt attached because they could see, they felt like they were, welcome to a certain degree because things were exposed. So if you do the same type of exposure and you have it in the right places, I think that the grassroots movement is always the youth that overturn and have the change. The civil rights movement was done by young people. It was done with college students. It was done, yes, you had your older, but the majority of the students who were taught, because, we forget that they actually had to go through training. They had to be spat on by people to train them how not to respond to the violence and things like that. That was done by college students.
Teddy Taché,
and younger.
I see Roger Minkoff from the Virgin Islands is on with us, and that's the brother that's responsible for our partnership with the oldest synagogue in America. So thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Roger Minkoff. So I'm sorry, Teddy. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, in all of what we're doing, make sure that we have the young voice also understanding and representing and reaching out too, because that's where the true change. Because when they see that there's more that they're supposed to have.
Yeah.
You know, let's use the sense of entitlement for what it's supposed to be. I'm entitled to vote.
Yeah.
So my sense of entitlement should be for those things that I'm really entitled to, not because you think I owe you something. I don't owe you anything, but I am entitled to vote. So my sense of entitlement should be evoked in that way so that people will use their citizen rights.
Yes.
Very good point.
Said. Very good point.
Yes.
Mr. Brock, why don't you say something before we go to our next break about this whole discussion? Because you made some very good points. You say it's you're big concerned about the misinformation campaign that they put out there. That individuals have to be accountable, and we got to get engaged, accountable. It's time for a wake-up call, and we need a door-to-door campaign. So I want you to say something before we go to commercial.
Well, you know, this is the age of social media, so I believe it's important that maybe we engage through social media by creating maybe a page, a Facebook page or group or what have you, so the people can enlist and we can share that page with multiple people to get people on the page and utilize that page to get the information out there to the people. Because one of the things I noticed when we went to the meeting at City Hall, although it was standing room only, that still wasn't the city itself.
Right.
So my concern was, how are the people that aren't informed being informed?
Sure.
Right.
So we have to look at that. So that's one of the things.
Let me ask you this. I've been calling it, and some other people, some young people came up with this title that I was talking to, People's Peace and Prosperity Initiative. Do you think that is, because you said something about peace and prosperity, do you think that's something that includes the word peoples? And I didn't come up with it. Some young kids came up with that. What do you feel about that as an initiative, as a coalition?
Well, as you know, I'm a member of and a founding member of the Atlantic City chapter of the Peacekeepers Global Initiative.
Oh, okay,
so,
bravo.
Peace is our mantra as far as being a peacekeeper. So anything that incorporates peace as well as prosperity, I mean, you can't get no better than that.
Yeah, you a peace. And I mean this in a nice way, because I know you peace now because you got a little older, but when you was younger, you used to deal with it head up. You used to say, let's go right at it.
Well, it's called a reconciliation.
Reconciliation. Well, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to finalize our thoughts. And again, if anybody wants to call in, please call in at 609-641-8870. 609-641-8870. Please call in and join us. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Thank you.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the stopping us now.
The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. Power to the people. Talking about the power of the people of Atlantic City. A platform for people to discuss ideas of the community, creating an all-inclusive environment where people of Atlantic City can actively participate in the economic revitalization of Atlantic City's future. This forum will focus on black and white capitalism, working together to create red, white, and blue capitalism. Every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM. WeHaveGospel.com. The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. Power to the people.
Power to the people. He's good.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Atlantic City, America. Derek Brock, I love Derek Brock. And anybody that knows Derek Brock, you got to love this man. I know you do. I mean, he is original. Him and Ray Bethea, forget about it. I mean, it doesn't get any more Atlantic City than this.
Well, I can say the same for you, Jimmy.
Thank you, brother. God bless you.
It's been a connection since the first day we met.
Yes, it has.
And
love connection.
And it's always been positive.
Yes, brother.
And
yes.
Some people look at you and say, well, where does this guy come from? And why is he so concerned about Atlantic City? But after being around you and knowing you and talking to you, I see why. You're about the people.
I really am. I really loved it. And this is America.
And you love Atlantic City.
Yeah, this is America. I love Atlantic City. It's the most beautiful city in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You gotta, every day you get up, you go and you look at the ocean. You see like a Picasso has painted this orange and blue sky. I mean, this is, and
I had a friend of mine today. She said to me, actually a customer. She called me today and she said, I've been taking all these trips to Rio and this and that place, and I'm going these places looking for the beaches. And she said, then it dawned on me. I'm from Atlantic City. I live at the beach. She said, I ain't been going nowhere ever since. I've been going on the beach right in Atlantic City. I became a beach bum. Because sometimes we do take this.
You take it for granted.
Yeah, we take it for granted.
For the last 3 minutes,
I never
Derek,
do.
why don't you tell everybody what, we're going to take a social media step here and how we want it. So tell them about the idea that you have, and we're going to pursue it.
Okay, everybody. Everybody's, most people today are social media savvy, and we're really serious about getting this movement going. So we're asking everyone, when you see this page and come on your page that says like the page, because this is going to be the way that people are going to be able to communicate and keep everyone informed. And I think that is the best way that we can get this thing mobilized. And so just stay in touch with Jimmy and I and Lisa, Diane. Of course, you're going to see us because we're always on the set. Especially Lisa Diane. She's everywhere.
All right.
I see her all over the place.
So the People's Peace and Prosperity Initiative, when you guys see it, join us, be a part of us. And we got our 2-minute warning, because that's what they did with that football game the other day, didn't it?
Yes.
The Eagles lost, did they?
We're not going to talk about that.
Okay. So look, Atlantic City, America, thank you, WEHA, Derek Brock, Lisa Dan Hall, Teddy Tashe Payton, Stefan Jackson, the voice of Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. Thank you all. Happy New Year. Be on the lookout for People's Peace and Prosperity Initiative.
Woke.
We're going to abolish this thing the way that Mandela abolished apartheid in South Africa. We're going to abolish apartheid economically right here in Atlantic City. God bless you, Atlantic City. God bless you, America. Thank you.
Atlantic City, AC, where I'm from, yeah. I'm from a town where the dreams are big. Non-stop around the clock to find your means to live. History throughout the timeline. Casinos hit the skyline. A few comedy clubs got the tourists in love. Summertime beach bars make you feel like you a star. Windows crack down, AC Ave, the music blast. From the hip-hop shop to sneaker villa. Parties in the inlet, never forget they ain't a place filler. Every day is live from push carts to jitney rides. Boardwalk after dark, still peer with your peers. Soul food, the funnel cakes. Welcome to the Garden State. You gotta love this place. Heart of the tri-state. From the landmark to land shark. Barbecues in the park. Battle by the bay. The city so full of spark. This is my city till death do us part. So no matter where I go, it's AC to the heart.
City, driving down the boulevard, showing what we're made of. That's why they come from near and far.
Gospel 88.7 88.7 WEHA. It's more than music. It's ministry.
WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City. And now on FM translator 100.3 W262CF, Atlantic City.
Hey, you like football? I know you like football. You looking for a place to watch the Super Bowl? Well, we got you a place to watch some dark football. WEHA's gonna hook you up because Gospel 88.7 and 100.3 FM WEHA We Have Gospel presents the Sunday Super Bowl Buffet. That's right, it's a buffet going down where you can watch the Super Bowl and eat your favorite foods. It's a large buffet of heavy appetizers and desserts, assorted juices, sodas, punch, and plenty of H2O. It's even going to have some halftime games and giveaways. You know when it's happening, Super Bowl Sunday. That's right, Sunday, February 2nd, 2020. Doors open at 5 p.m. Kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. at the Beacon Hall, 243 St. Louis Avenue, Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. Admission is $20 per person, $10 for children 12 and under. And you better RSVP because it's limited seating. You want tickets? Do you want tickets? I said, do you want tickets? The number to call is 609-641-8870. Or you can get your tickets at wehavegospel.com. Super Bowl Sunday, you gotta be at Beacon Hall to see the big game. Of course, we're rooting for the Eagles around here. We're so happy that they got farther than Dallas this year.
WEHA, Christ-centered, community-focused. Deacon William Hawks, President.
Hawks, a name that has been trusted for almost 30 years.